siege tower has reached the walls.
Hey boys and girls, it's KnightStalker here. Welcome along today to Wall Fort Siege. Check it out. Gonna bring 3 of my favourite units in. The grandpas have creeped into my sort of favourites list. I've been practicing with them a lot, so I quite like them. Kreigsrats, there seems to be a lot of love for the old Kreigsrat Fusiliers in the current times, so I'm going to bring them along, and I'm also going to bring along my absolute favourites, the Fortebraccio Pikemen. Okay, looking down both teams. Fairly balanced. We have a small advantage in heroes, I think. Nothing major. Let me just adjust my microphone. Sorry if that makes a whole bunch of noise. Alright, anyway, let's get into this battle. It's a ranked battle. Let's do it. Here's our beautiful loading in animation. Okay, don't forget, if you start by hitting the control key now, you can immediately gain control of your unit. That's just as soon as the animation starts zooming out from the gate, you can immediately hit control and seize control of your unit. Control key. So the plan is here. We want to cross this B bridge before the B bridge is broken down. Now, I've brought with me a little culverin, a little one, a blue one. And the plan is we're going to shoot those 2 huachas that are set up either side of the bridgehead. We're unopposed. That's interesting. Usually you'd want some units down here to prevent exactly the sort of thing that I'm about to do. Whoops. What's going on? You typically need some units down here just to prevent these heroes just doing exactly what we just did, scaling the wall and rushing straight on. But this should be an easy bridge siege. Seize. 1 down. 2 down. I see a cannon over there. Should we try and hit him? 3 down. Beautiful. Now that pretty much guarantees we'll take the bridge. Nobody going to set up more? No? Nobody else wants to get shot? Alright, okay. Alright, well, let's go and get a better unit. We're in no rush to get across that bridge now. And we'll take the Kriegs because we want to sit behind our team's chaff units and daka into the enemy. Kriegs are a great unit. I really enjoy this. Most people, or some people might consider them outdated. They don't have any special abilities. They don't have any modern, the latest and greatest, the Shinji's throw grenades, the Namcans have bleed. These guys are a day 1 unit, I believe. So they're actually a little bit simple, shall we say. But this simple unit has some of its major advantages. The major advantage it has is it shoots, aims, and reloads extremely fast. All 3 of those actions combined, right? So every musket shot has those 3 actions involved. Reload, aim, fire. And this unit does all 3 of those things very, very quickly and just puts out an absolute hail of gunfire. And that's just kind of what they do. So what you do is you sit them behind the line and you just let them absolutely just go to town. They're a very simple unit to use. The skill in this unit is all in the positioning and the timing. Where you sit the unit and how long you leave it there is kind of the thing. Well, ask our team to go to C. It's pretty optimistic because we've got a lot of peasants here. But we'll see what we can do. Oh, they just crouched just as I triggered my skill. That's a shame. It's much better to wait till they come out of that glowy orange death, the palace guard here, because then you can just scatter them all just like that short sword's done. Anyway, looks like our Kreigsrats are arriving, and they're just going to do their thing now. Pour fire into them. Now, one thing that the Kreigsrat have that no other ranged unit has is that they are incredibly dangerous in melee. Are they hard to kill? No. The problem with them, if you're going to charge into them, is that the back rank will continue to fire as the front rank are in melee. But also the units that are in melee do a lot of damage, like a lot. Especially if you've got the tech tree all noted up. These guys have got something like plus 25% melee damage, and that was already starting at about 1,000 to a heavy hero. So, do you want them in melee? Not really, but they certainly can do it. And here we go, here's the timing that we're talking about. We're going to know when it is time to bug out. So, nice simple capture. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. We have a little bit of ammunition left, about a quarter of ammo left, so I'd like to use that before we send them on their long walk home. And our team are already starting to push into the centre point, putting pressure on the enemy team, so that's lovely. If you're wondering what the one skill on this unit is, it's very simply directed fire, just like all muskets get. So what sort of things can this unit beat in melee? Any peasants, easily. Like most ranged units have to worry about peasants, this unit does not. Most certainly does not. And what else? I mean, light things. Can they beat something like rattan pikes? Well, yeah, with your hero's help, but you're going to take a lot of casualties, right? So the thing is that the melee ability of that unit is very centered around heroes diving into them or fending off peasant waves and things like that. Don't be thinking you can do a bayonet charge into claymores. That is not a thing. So here we go. These are my primary boys because they kill just about everything. The Fortebraccio Pikemen. And unlike most people who play Fortebraccios, I don't use the brace line, the top line. I use the bottom line. And that will give them some extra movement, a little bit of extra armor. Well, actually a lot of extra armor. And I find that that just helps their survivability so much more. You're only going to get their armor up to about 450, 550 if you're really going to stack it. But the extra movement speed that you get on the bottom line, the extra armor that you get on the bottom line really lends itself towards my style of not using them in brace unless it's, against cavalry or somewhere very appropriate. But I vastly prefer to use this unit in the open formation because it does a lot, and I mean a lot more damage in open formation. It also, in the open formation, allows you to do things like zone heroes out of points, because it would take a very, very brave hero to dive on a unit of Fortebraccios who are already in open and loose formation. If they're in this nice tight block that you use for moving them around or for bracing, they're very easy to disrupt with a hero. But it looks like this is kind of the time where we want to use the brace. I do have a stun doctrine on them. I'm not completely crazy. But here we go. This should keep some of this cavalry out of our boys. Not that we needed too much with the Modow, but watch what happens when you stick them in the outrageously loose formation. Well, I thought I was going to do it there. We're actually going to stick them in a line formation here to stop any cavalry coming around that corner and diving straight on the point. Stupid pike. Come here, you. Whoops, got animation locked. Never mind, back to the point. I guess we'll push on C. Why are we going to push on C? Well, that's what we're supposed to be doing. There's cavalry incoming. They've decided the better part of valor is to run away, which is very smart because we would have killed every single one of them there with no casualties whatsoever. If you charge cavalry into a braced unit of Fortebraccio Pikemen, you will no longer have cavalry. If you charge anything into the front line of a Fortebraccio braced pikeman, you will probably lose the unit. There are some exceptions, things like Reapers in their number 2 mode, for example, or I don't know, anything that's immune to CC. But they have to be immune to CC while they're moving, is the key thing. And not a lot of things are like that. Like Palace Guard, for example, can't just walk into you and brace, because by the time that they get stunned by the pikes, it's too late, and you press that brace key, and anyone who's in the stun mode will simply not do it. So, we've got lots of cavalry here, and the appearance of Modow and... what's going on? Iron Reapers. And Fortebraccios like this is going to terrify that cavalry. The way that the Fortebraccios work now with a little bluff is that they, even in the open formation, they're actually a lot better against cavalry. So that was one thing I was quite surprised to find out about. But here we go. now we're going to bring them over here and we're going to pop into and out of brace. But first of all, we're going to provide a flank on these guys. See how much extra damage they do when they're not in brace? Oh, man. And what do we got here? Hit them in open formation again. Watch how quickly everything around us melts. The massive reach. And they do about 1,000 damage each. And there's a lot of them. And to see how this big open wide formation zones out loose cavalry, it zones out heroes. Because you'd have to be mad. Oh, what are these guys doing? Watch this. See how the stun works on the brace? Even if you're a fan of the out of formation, like me, the loose formation, the brace has its place, and make sure you put the brace doctrine on. GG! Well, that was pretty much a walkover, actually. I had my reservations about doing a ranked battle while I'm talking. Usually you want to hyper focus. 5 normal artillery. Fortebraccio Pikemen did okay. Kreigsrats did okay. But the point is, in a ranked battle, you have one objective, and that is to win. Oh, we got no kills. And we did that. We did that quite convincingly. We supported our team to do that. And I think overall, it was a pretty darn good battle. What do you think? Anyway, boys and girls, I hope you learned something new, or you just enjoyed the battle. Thank you so much for coming to my channel.